Hey, what's up, guys? Happy Sunday. We are here for another video. I am Caramel Rail. This is the Caramel Rail Show, and thank you guys for joining us. We have several topics that we got to talk about, and I'm happy that you guys are able to join me. Happy Sunday, and happy Sunday. We're going to give you guys just a few minutes just to get in. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I know you guys cooked some good food today. Y'all know Sundays is when everybody pots be rattling, honey. Y'all be up in there cooking and getting the kitchen and the house smelling all good. What's up, Minky Finky? What's up? What's up, everybody? I see you guys coming in. Thank you guys for being here. Hey, Rose. Hey, Miss Zeta T Mom. Hey. Hey, everyone. I see Coco Mo. I see Ty Girl. What's the T? Janice Jones. I see you. Mama KBR. Belma Sadler. Hey, Adrian Wiley. Belle Wilson, my other mod. What's up? What's up? We got some good topics for you guys today. Thank you guys for being here. All right. Let's get into the show. Gemini Twin is an AM MU grade. Hey, what's up? Carla Gas. Hey, Archer Palmer. Vera Dockery. Hey, what's up? Let's get in. I see everybody coming in. Let's get in. Everything said in the video is alleged and in my opinion and is used for full use in entertainment. Kokomo says, I follow you on TikTok. Thanks, dear. Okay, yeah, I'm over there too. Those of you that don't follow me on TikTok, you can. Thanks for following. Great stuff over there as well. Let's see. Kim Jones, I see you. Mira Alexander, hello. Vanessa Stewart, hey. Hey. Diana Flew, hey. Erica Butler, Rhonda Scott, hey. And everyone else in the building. Let's get started. Let's get into Maurice. Let's get into Maurice, honey, the deacon, honey. Y'all know Maurice is a deacon, an ordained deacon. Did y'all know that, child? I ain't know deacons be out here having threesomes and stuff like that, having women bend over tables and chairs and shit. Let's get into it, though. Happy Sunday, honey. The deacon, the Love and Marriage Huntsville counselor, honey. The drunk driver, the threesome coordinator, aka Maurice, allegedly. Okay, let's get into him. Now, we've been hearing about Credit One. Kimmy let it slip out that the fellas be at Credit One. They having their little parties and drinking and smoking their cigars. I said, let's look into this Credit One, shall we? What is so interesting about Credit One? Why is everybody trying to go to Credit One and be humped out and have trains ran on them and all of the things Well, let's get into it, shall we? Now, in case you guys forgot, before we actually get into Maurice right quick, let's get into what old Shan had to say, because we can't forget about Shan. Shan is a very intricate part of this story here, okay? So let's get into Shan right quick, okay? Give me 1 second. Let's see. Let's get into Shan, honey. All right, let's get into Shan. It's coming up. Shan is going to talk about what they were doing over there at the Credit of the One, honey. All right. And she is putting everybody out there. All right. So shout out to Clad 88. All right. Let's get into it. We're talking about Marcel right here. It's Shan, right? Oh, hold on. Okay, I got to go out of it first. Hold on. Because I'm sharing. I don't know why it's not sharing. Let me go back. Let me try to share again. I hit share, y'all. I promise you I did. I hit share. All right, let's try it again. Because I'm sharing it from this other page.
It was not like nothing passionate, nothing up here. I'm making love. It was quick. It was not like nothing passionate, nothing up here. I'm making love. It's pump. Got a nut. Gotta go.
I don't know. Did you fall in love with him?
Can y'all hear it?
I'm a person like people because I like people.
Yeah.
So I liked him.
Okay.
I didn't judge him based off the fact that he was fat. I just chalked up to the fact that my coochie was good.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
So originally when you first met him, did you know that he was married? Did he have a ring on?
I don't remember him having a ring on.
Okay.
But the way he was moving, I assumed and I picked up on the speculation of it.
He had somebody, you didn't know he was married, but you just know that it was another significant other. Because he been with, how long he been with Tisha, Martell?
What, about 16 years?
16, 17 years?
He would never take me anywhere other than that building. So,
dang, Martell.
He had something going on. So, and then with him feeling like I got this business building, why would I get a room? But
Martell, is that his business building? I didn't.
No, it's Maurice's.
Oh.
Yeah, Maurice's.
And you gonna let your brother use your to get a quick little pump.
Yeah, have a good time.
Majority of the time, Maurice would be there. Actually,
so did you see Maurice with another woman, or was he there?
Let me ask you this. Hold up. Wait a minute. So you mentioned a couple times Maurice being there. So did you and Maurice and you Marcel do something there?
We didn't do nothing then at the time. But with it being Maurice's building, I feel like Maurice was his lie, his alibi.
Oh,
because
he couldn't. That's what brothers.
Yeah, he couldn't do that without Maurice. Maurice is always there.
Okay.
But Maurice wasn't necessarily there with a woman. Okay, that you seen.
He did meet a friend.
Right. You did tell us that.
Okay. We hang out. It would just be me, him, and Maurice. Maurice just be like chilling out in the front. I don't know. So I think there was a lot that they gathered. Yeah.
Okay.
Like we together, we doing some business.
Okay.
That's what men do though. That's what we do.
You gonna like me?
Oh, my bad. Oh, you gonna edit that part out?
No, we're not. We're gonna keep it all. We're not editing nothing out, Martell. That's what men do.
That's what men do.
So men do what you mean? Like elaborate a little bit. Tell us. That's what men do.
Well, I think a person who's cheating, they always got to have
an alibi.
An alibi. They gotta like if you got a brother, if you got a friend.
So what was your alibi with us? Like what was it? What when we were
on my nerves. All right, so as you guys can see, that's what happened with Shan, honey, talked about Maurice being involved in most of their encounters was at Credit One. Now let's get into why they like Credit One. Now, I've never seen a business. Let's get into this. I've never seen a business that is a business by day and a strip club vibe by night. All right, I did my due diligence to pull this up for you guys so that y'all can see what be going on at Credit One. Y'all ready for this? Not the Deacon, honey, not Deacon Reese over there giving the women the old face, honey. Not Deacon Reese over there giving Shan and them the old face, girl. Because Shan said she had one in the throat and one in the wop, girl. One in the throat and one in the wop. Lord. Let's get into it, honey. Now, for those of you that I go to businesses and handle business rather. I don't think that it's supposed to look like this. Let's get into it, shall we? We share screen. Let's let it catch up because y'all know StreamYard can be have a little latency from time to time. All right, so this is Maurice, honey, and he's letting the people know. Now, this is how he tricked out Credit One. And I said the only reason why that you would be tricking out this building as such is because of the type of entertainment that might be going on up in there. When you got the music going and you got the lights going, you want to have that whole vibe, that whole feel of like a strip club vibe because you're messing with a whole stripper. Shannon is an ex-stripper. During the time, she was a stripper. So let's get into said building. Okay, now
You should coordinate. I think I'm taking coordination to a different level.
We got to cut it off because it's music. Okay, so y'all, that's his car with a rented one, child, because y'all know they be renting cars out here so they can look. You know, they said that when he went to court, child, he was driving in a little raggedy little car. But on the show, honey, he got to be seen in these luxury cars because child, they trying to keep this image because this is how they pull in the women. When the women see them on these shows and the Lambos and the Mercedes and stuff like that and the G-Wagons that they're renting in order to keep up a certain persona, that's how they pull in these women. When these women see them, they're like, oh, you Maurice with that Lambo? Oh, I want to be shotgunning Lambo. Oh. So, yeah, that's what they're doing. So indirectly, Kimmy, you are assisting your husband in pulling women because you paying for said luxury cars for him to pull said women in. Okay, Maurice is doing the same. I mean, Marceau is doing the same thing. Martel tried to do the same thing, but his money not long enough. Now that he ain't got mail no more, because y'all know he was able to run around in his BM. He had a BMW at one time. He was riding around in a nice little SUV, but now he ain't got that luxury no more. So he just riding around in his Uber truck, child. And whoever jump in, just get in. But let's continue with Maurice. All right, so that's his little rental car. That's a little Mercedes, child. All right, so now we're about to get into credit one. Now, why would a business need to look like this?
But you see the interior, though.
Y'all don't see these blues. Man, how can anybody ever say the blues is bad? And the blues look good to me. Yeah.
As you should coordinate.
Why would one need all that at a business where you're conducting business and fixing people's credit? Now, if you notice in the video I just played, Shan said that Maurice would sit up front when Marceau would go to the back with Shan and they would do their little nasty business or whatever. Okay. And then he also met a friend. So a friend came by there for Maurice as well. But Maurice would sit up front and be like the lookout guy, just in case, Tisha or somebody pull up and then he can probably, throw out like a code word or send a text back there to let him know, hey man, your wife is here or somebody's here. So he was like the lookout guy while Marceau was back there banging out Shan. Okay, because somebody had to be a lookout guy. Y'all already heard Kimmy when she said that she would go. That's the first place that she would look is credit one, when she would be looking for Maurice, when Maurice would be out and about doing whatever the hell he was doing when he wasn't home. When he'd be out late at night, that's the first place she would go and check. So when she didn't see his car there and nobody came to the door, then she would go out and look other places that she know he would be. So in this instance, with him being there, Shan being there, as Shan was saying that they were doing stuff on top of tables and in chairs, Maurice would sit up front, as Shan just said, and look out, allegedly, for Marceau while he would be back there cheating. And she said that each time that she came there to meet Marceau and they had their extracurricular activities, Maurice would also be there as well. So I feel like the two brothers, they are looking out for one another, as brothers do sometimes when they know brothers are doing things that they should not be doing. Maurice is the lookout guy. Now, of course, whenever you heard that they went to Vegas, they were all in on it, according to Shan. She said she was having sex with Marceau and that Maurice came over and started participating in it as well, which then made it a threesome, at which then the other brother came in and it would turn into a foursome. And I know Maurice said at the reunion that he's had fivesomes. So that's where Martel would come in. And I don't know why he's sitting on this interview and like he won't involve with this bullshit. I feel like they all participated in it. Martel said that bitches that we F together. Martel, you told on yourself. Okay. We're going to put two and two together. You said that shit. And then when you turned around and said that Ariane was a shareable side chick, I do believe that her ass was been over in a few rooms with the rest of y'all as well. So y'all ain't fooling nobody. Let's play the video again where Maurice is showing credit one and how he tricked it out. Credit one by day, honey, and the boom boom room by night.
I think I'm taking coordination to a different level.
They looking out for one another. They're keeping each other's secrets. They're looking out for one another. Maurice was the lookout guy at Credit One. He said, hey, use my building. We ain't going to go to no hotels because some of these people might, recognize us. But they have been visiting, according to a source in Huntsville who works at a hotel. When Carlos had his podcast there that weekend, one of the sources who actually works there actually sent information to me to let me know the Scott brothers have been in there numerous of times, because they actually spoke to one of my subbies who stayed there, who questioned them and asked them if they've ever seen the Scott brothers there. They said the people in Huntsville don't even really watch Love and Marriage Huntsville because one is boring and two, that's not their real lives. All right, that they're not famous like that in Huntsville. They don't give a fuck about no Scotts in Huntsville. But they did say that they've seen them coming in that said hotel with women that were not their wives. So for Tisha to say, I never knew about that. I don't know. Why are you holding on to his checks like that? And I keep saying it. Well, let's go ahead and play Credit one more time, honey, because this is allegedly what's going on up in there.
But you see the interior, though.
He bragging.
Y'all don't see these blues. Man, how can anybody ever say the blues is bad? And the blues look good to me. Yeah.
Why would you need that type of atmosphere for a credit one? A place
Says you should coordinate. I think I'm taking
weird. Okay, weird, Deacon Reese. That's very weird, Deacon Reese. Okay. All right, so let's get into this clip that I pulled for a recent episode of Love Marriage Huntsville so that we can now see the gaslighting that goes on behind the scenes. Maurice likes to keep his image clean because he wants people to think that he's this important attorney, this important lawyer who's out here trying all these cases, child. Mr. Johnny Crockpot himself does not want to be attached to the bullshit when he allegedly is attached to the bullshit. In this scene, he goes to see Martel pretty much to pick his brain, to pretty much tell him, look, man, you and Marceau, y'all need to cut this shit out because pretty much indirectly when you calling him out and exposing him, bitch, you know I was there too. So when you telling on him, you telling on me too. And what I'm telling Kimmy at home, I don't need Kimmy upset and pulling her wallet from me when I'm out here trying to be tricking on these hoes. That's kind of how, that's my translation. All right, so let's go ahead and play this clip. Because the only reason why Maurice went to go see Martel in this clip was to tell him to shut his ass up. Because, bitch, you about to expose me, too, if you don't shut it up. Now, I know you and my brother having it out. All right. But I need you to stop doing this shit because bottom line is, you know, we were all in on this. So if you're going to be talking about stuff and revealing stuff on my brother, you already know that my ass was in on it, too. So let's get into this clip. Maurice is working hard, honey, to shut Martel up. Let's get into it.
You and Marcel decided y'all wanted to let it all out.
Yeah.
I'm not saying nothing about it.
Oh, we've never met together.
He asked me, hey man, did Mel try to suck your I only know nasty bitches that so shut up.
Is it all out?
For me, in terms of, yeah, to me, I mean, it's out, yeah.
No, I mean, I personally think that you and Marcel have had issues ever since Scope broke up.
I don't know why, though. Why? Because I haven't said nothing about it.
No, I know that. I'm saying that a lot of people haven't seen y'all relationship before that. I don't think you guys ever bounced back after Scope.
Really?
You guys have like this cycle of destruction, right? Y'all real cool. Then there's something that comes, blows up the relationship. You guys kind of put it back together, but it's not the same. And then it blows up again. Then it's kind of put back together and it's still not the same. And it blows up again.
I don't be knowing what the issues are.
Marceau actually has a company named Scolt. Every time you see a building with Scolt, Scott Holt, together, you got to feel a way. Anything that's something that you dream about doesn't end the way that you'd like or the way that you dreamed it would, then I think that there's something that's in there as far as a feeling about it. Like if you don't, it's almost like.
Stop you, Maurice. You full of shit. Because bottom line is Melody and Martel sold the business to the Scotts. They didn't have a damn thing. They didn't have no businesses. Marceau was straight from the movie theater, and he also worked at Target. He didn't have shit going on. Tisha was a customer service agent prior to Melody and Martel selling them the company Schultz. And according to Melody, she sold it to them for a very low price that they could afford. Okay. In order to look out for and help her friends, because during the time they were struggling, they didn't have a solid place to stay. Their car was broke down. During the time they were driving Mel and Martel's car to get by, to get to work. They didn't have shit going on until Melody and Martel stepped in. And I say Mel and Martel because during the time they were married. So, you know, everything is joint then, even though we all know that everything was really coming from Melody. Now, Maurice is trying to manipulate the audience in this scene, and he's trying to deflect from the situation at hand, which is stop talking about the situation with with Marceau, because you're almost putting my shit out there. So now you're throwing out there to deflect and make the audience think that your real issue is, and that Martel's real issue with Maurice is, with Marceau is this, the fact that Schultz. That there's an issue with Schultz. Why would he have an issue with that when he sold it to them? Why would he have an issue with Marceau so deep when he actually sold the business to them and profited it from the actual business? That's not what it is, Maurice. You went to Martel's Airbnb rental space where he's squatting probably, according to Melody, because he don't stay nowhere for long. to pretty much talk him into making up with Marceau, because anytime they're at odds, Martel is always on the rampage running his damn mouth, telling the damn business. And when he tells the business, always, Maurice, you're always in the middle of the business. And you don't want your shit out there because you are about image. And I say that because the way you be out here renting these luxury cars in order to look a certain way, only for you to pull up to court in a raggedy piece of shit car, which is what you really drive when the cameras aren't rolling, tells me that you are about image, sir. You put on these suits and you get on TV and you try to be counseling everybody like you're just this, you know, this huge lawyer over there in Huntsville, like you just know everything. You try to use these big words to make yourself sound so smart, like you know what you're talking about. And really, it's giving Maurice that you are a deflector, you are a manipulator, you are a narcissist, you are all of the things that are negative. You are a cheater, allegedly. Okay, would you still staying out till 4, 5 o'clock in the morning when your wife got to get out of bed and go look for you? That's not great marital behavior. It's not. And ain't nothing wrong with going out, like I said before. You can go out and have a good time, but there's a certain time you're supposed to bring your ass home. Your wife should not be out looking for you all times of night to put herself in danger, for herself to be possibly in a situation to where something happens to her because she's out looking for you. So it's giving Maurice that you want Martel to shut the fuck up, because if he's talking and spilling tea about what's going on with your brother, he's also telling on you. Let's continue.
Like saying you're not human. So sometimes when Martel tells me, oh no, this is exactly what I wanted. No, it's not. Because I remember the conversations that you guys were having about building skyscrapers too.
I ain't have no issues with Marceau.
Hey, Martel, it's okay to say that you did.
Bro, you should know me by now.
Are you trying to manipulate him into saying something that's not really what it is, when really your ass is there, like I just said, to keep him shutting up?
No, I do. That's part of the reason why.
And I was saying,
it was just one question. That's what started it all. Who hurt you the most in this group? You said Marceau.
When he say something to me, I'm going back at him from here on out. That's all I'm saying.
You do. That's what you do. Period.
Of course.
Listen, when you're angry, you'll bring out anything. When you're angry, it's not like there's a limit when you're angry.
Y'all catch that? Martel, when you're angry, you'll bring out anything when you're angry. He's afraid that with Martel being angry, because Martel be in this trance, Martel be on a roll when he's mad. He just starts spewing when he's mad. Everything comes out when Martel is mad. He don't give a fuck who catches stray, and that's what Maurice is afraid of. He's sitting on the edge of his seat. Look at body language. Look how relaxed Martel is. Look how tense Maurice is. Maurice came there for a reason. Maurice came there for a purpose, and the purpose is to let Martel know, stop this mess, because you're about to fuck up my marriage as well. I see what you're doing with Marceau, and you're trying to indirectly do the shit to me, and I'm here to tell you to stop the shit. He's sitting on the edge of his seat. His feet are spread apart, which shows aggression, which shows desperation. He's pointing the finger at Martel to let him know, I'm talking to you, and I'm desperate, and I need you to stop this shit. Let's continue.
Once you feel
it's a limit.
No, once you're hurt, you want to hurt.
Yeah,
a lot of the arguing that Marceau and I had that day, that was never my intention to even say anything like that ever. Mm-hmm. Period. Mm-hmm. It's just the fact that I just see this person not caring like I think that he should at this moment, the way things that he's saying to me. So it's like, yeah, so like now I'm having to act like a kid. So I'm gonna give it back to you. It's rare that I have enemies. Mm-hmm. It's rare that I fall out with people. If I fall out with somebody, it's because of the other person. It's always
typical narcissistic behavior in conversation, isn't it, Martel? It's very rare that I fall out with anybody, and usually if I do, it's them. Oh, I've never done anything for people to fall out with me and be mad with me. It's always them. That's typical narcissistic behavior right there. No accountability. It's always the other person. This motherfucker still think that Melody is the reason why they got divorced. When this bitch done went out here and had a whole baby, and 4 kids just done went on to glory, honey, never to ever be heard of again. While he sit his silly ass here with these crusty ass feet, with these damn toes throwing up gang signs in the damn video, this nigga really think that everybody's doing something to him. Typical narc behavior.
It's been like that ever.
So you're infallible.
What does that mean?
Here he go with the big words again, trying to look smart on TV.
In a relationship, you're saying it's always the other person, never you.
Damn, man, I know you're an attorney, but dude, When I say make a statement, that means mostly, okay?
Okay, there we
Mostly.
go.
God,
I'm just, hey, listen, man. I know another person that's damn near a deity at Trisha's
I know another person that's damn near me. Shut your ass up, Maurice.
party. And Mel comes and sits down and, you know, I'm so disappointed in you. Damn. Right? And she descended upon me and commenced me to damnation. Oh my God, I'm so disappointed in you. My grandmother was, I'm like, hold on. What you're not about to do is go and tell this whole story in this narrative.
Yeah.
And
what you're not about to do, let me translate for you, Maurice. Melody, what you're not about to do is hold me accountable and get in my business when I used to do the same shit to you and still doing that. I'm going to get to have conversations with Martel about you and Martel's business, about y'all marriage. We inserted ourselves, me and Kimmy inserted ourselves in your business, but how dare you come back now and spin the block on me and do that shit to me? I am Maurice. I graduated from a non-accredited school. Okay, I have fivesomes at Credit One. Who the fuck are you to question me? That's what it gives. How dare she tell you you were wrong for drinking and driving, especially when that's a near and dear situation to her after her own grandmother lost her life to the same thing that you were just almost convicted of because you were able to talk your way out of it and probably threw a little coin there. That's what it gives. Because there's no fucking way and you hit a whole car that night that you were able to get out of that situation. Let's continue.
What you're not about to do is do to me what you've done to Martel and what you've done to everybody else. You're not about to project all.
And what has she done to them? That could be hearsay. Do you have proof of what was done to Martel? Did you live in the same house as Mel and Martel? What you do know from Mel and Martel is what was told to you by Martel. I don't think Melody ever sat up in any conversation with you, Maurice, and told you any fucking thing that happened in her marriage and what was done to her. Now you're sitting here spewing hearsays to the same motherfucker that caused the divorce. Of course he's going to be on your side and sit there and smile and agree with you because you're doing the same shit that he was doing to get divorced. You're just a little bit more smarter and a little more slicker than Martell, stupid ass. You were smart enough to go get a freaking vasectomy so that you didn't bring a baby home to Kimmy's old ass. That's all that was. This is pure manipulation that we're watching right here.
Things is wrong. Like, to her, you're Satan in the flesh. I'm like, you're not about to make me.
To her, she's Satan in the flesh. No, nigga, you're Satan in the flesh. You want to be out here an ordained deacon running around drunk driving, having alleged threesomes, foursomes, fivesomes at your business. Okay, but then you want to sit up and be trying to talk to people about God and tell people they need to pray and try to counsel others when you're just as bad. That's why Mel said, I don't want to hear shit else that Maurice got to say because it's giving that nigga, you don't take your own advice. Like, I don't want to hear you counsel anyone else when you're the one who sit out here and do all the bullshit that you do. And as soon as your ass get caught up, nobody can question you. Nobody can bring up your infidelities. Nobody can bring up your indiscretions. Like, everybody just got to shut the fuck up and sit back and watch from afar while you continue to fuck up your life and Kimmy sits back and allow the shit to happen because she's a beard and don't want to be by herself. That's what it gives.
That every person that's cheated in the world, Martell's him. No, I'm not the representation for that. The thing that kind of bothered me about that situation was, Mel, if you were this concerned, you'd have came directly to me.
Yeah.
You want to disparage my character going from person to person to person to person.
Did she at least call you?
No.
My conversation for Melody was more around the implications and the insinuations and those kind of things. Why would
implications and the insinuations? You can tell she's been married to Maurice for a very long time because the two of them in conversation, Kimmy has mastered the manipulation that she receives from Maurice, and Maurice he's mastered the manipulation and the big words that Kimmy throws at him. So he's learning big words from Kimmy, and Kimmy's learning manipulation from Maurice.
Would you even come to that conclusion? She said we weren't going to talk about it. I was like, huh?
Well, I think that they've learned, right? Especially Martel. Martel does it a lot too. It's, you don't actually need you don't need proof when an insinuation will do.
is you don't need proof when an insinuation will do. How is it an insinuation when there's a whole court document that was plastered all over national television, when there's a whole court document that's at the police station that says that you were arrested for a whole DUI? And the only thing I heard her repeat on several different clips for Love and Marriage Huntsville, and maybe online if she spoke about it, was the fact that there is a DUI that was listed out there for Maurice. And she also mentioned, and this is not an insinuation because you did pull right back up to not credit one, but Black. Right back up to Black when you got out of jail the very next night to party and drink again. So you did not learn your lesson. You did not hold yourself accountable. You went right back to do the same thing, and you thought that it was funny, and everybody was saying free Reese, and you were seen again with another drink in your hand, getting drunk once again to get right back in said vehicle to drive again. So it's not insinuation in any way, shape, or form because you are on video doing what people are insinuating that you did. I mean,
I've given Mel so much grace over years.
Who the fuck are you to give her grace, nigga? Kimmy is giving you grace, and the reason she's still with your silly ass, and I keep saying it, is because her biological clock is broke at this point. It's done ticking. Ain't no batteries in the bitch no more. She doesn't want to be alone, so she'd rather have a piece of a clown, and I can't even call you a man. She'd rather have a piece of a clown than be by herself. She'd rather have a fool laying in her bed at night to keep her warm in her bed, honey, when you come home, to tell her to roll over and take it. Maybe she like that rough talk. I don't know. I like a little roughness sometimes too. But for a nigga to tell me to roll over and take it if I'm on chemo and I'm in pain and I'm in a situation where I don't feel like rolling over, it's giving that you, sir, have some issues. And you like to project those issues on others. And when they speak on your issues, it bothers you because you're not used to somebody holding you accountable because you're married to a beard. So you expect that same beard mentality from everyone that you encounter because you don't like accountability. That's what it gives.
Oh, yeah.
Because I understand that her dream wasn't to be this.
Yeah.
She's famous because of what you've done.
Mm-hmm.
She's famous because she was transparent. Something your wife won't be, something that Tisha won't be. Y'all fan base could have been probably just as much as hers had you been honest. But Kimmy sent her ass on here and want to sit up and have a whole meeting and a whole scene with Mel, knowing your ass be over there credit one and she got to come looking for you. If there's anything that you know, Mel, then why don't you tell me? Well, your country ass should have been your ass up over there and found out on your own. Mel was like, look, I ain't about to tell you shit. What I need to tell you for when you already know? I'm not wasting my breath. If you know anything, Mel, well, if you know anything, then you just need to go on and tell me with your country ass. Teach you the same way. I haven't seen any receipts or any pictures or any emails. I haven't been on TikTok lately, and these hoes ain't sent me no IG messages of my husband out there cheated on me for 18 years, me and myself in marriage. And even though he went to Africa without me, I don't think that he was over there with another woman or whatever. Yeah, I don't think that my husband, that's Hushband, my husband would be out here cheating on me because he is a family. That's family. Because we have a family and we are in love with each other. And we have businesses. And I don't think that my show was cheat on me. That's Tisha. Girl, get the fuck out of here.
I understand how important her image is to her. When she was introduced to this world that we're in right now, right? The very first day was called Don't Embarrass Me.
Yeah.
So the fact that she's been embarrassed, she's been hurt and been projecting ever since. I haven't seen.
Nigga, what you doing? Mel don't look hurt to me. Mel on vacation, Mel catching flights. I ain't seen her catching no feelings. That's you and your feelings. Maybe you need to catch a flight somewhere. Because according to Kimmy, you don't take her nowhere. So maybe you need to go book a flight somewhere so you can get up out of your damn feelings. You the only one sitting on TV hollering and crying and carrying on. Mel stay on vacation. Mel stay at TikTok making money. Mel is fine with the exception of her leg being hurt after skating, child. But other than that, she ain't think about Martell. She is fuck nigga free, making money. She is doing what she got to do out here. Her kids are good. She living good in a better house than you. She driving 2 cars. She really do drive a Range Rover, unlike yourself who got to go rent one. So why you saying that she's miserable? I don't see any miserable in that. The person that's miserable is sitting across from you. That would be Martell. Let's continue so you can see him.
Male in a long time.
Yeah. That's
real male.
Okay.
Real male. Right? Not projected to the world male. Mm-hmm. Right? Protecting my image male.
Yeah.
I'm saying real male, the not hurt male. The one that has like this bubbly spirit of love and all. I haven't seen that male.
Is she not still bubbly and happy? I've seen that. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. I've seen the bubbly and happy male.
Yeah. In a long time. What I've seen is, I could use that tactical male.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. She tearing me up with that too. That male killing me. It gets difficult.
That male is killing you. No, it's called accountability in court. It's called you can't put out revenge P on me and I don't respond. It's called you can't beat the fuck out of my kids and I don't take you to court and have them snatched for 56 days because you being a sucky ass father because you mad that I left you. It's giving that nigga you ain't gonna continue to stay in my house, bringing hoes in my house and sit on the internet and allow your hoes to talk greasy and nasty about me, the mother of your children, and then try to deflect like I'm the one that did something to you. It's giving. Do I need to keep going? I mean, damn. Martell sitting there, yeah, that same male is doing the same. I've seen that male. Nigga, you're going to keep seeing that male until you go to jail. You're going to keep seeing that male until you go to jail. I need that on a shirt. You're going to keep seeing that male until you go to jail. How do people feel like they can do things to you and you can't respond? You don't get to control a person's response when you fuck up and do something to them. Maurice, you don't get to tell her how to respond with information that's public information. She can speak on that shit just as much as I can. She can speak on your arrest just like anyone else can. But the fact that she came straight to you to let you know the same thing you said she did not do, she don't have to call you and say shit to you. When she saw you at the party, she didn't wait till she had an audience. Nobody was sitting at the table but you and Mel. So she made it a very personal conversation between, as the old people say, you and, well, she and you and her. Okay. She had a personal conversation between the two of you. Kimmy came and sat down in between that conversation, which had nothing to do with her. Granted, that is your wife. And if your wife is, and if you are having a conversation with someone of the opposite sex, yeah, she does have a right to come and sit down to see what the conversation is about. I would probably do the same thing. But bottom line is what she was telling you was the right thing. But because you don't like nobody telling you shit because you think you Martin Luther King got this bitch, that's your problem. So now you want to sit up and try to counsel Martell, and the two of you guys have one thing in common. You are mad at Mel. So how coincidental is it that you would sit up here and change the conversation from Martell being mad at Marceau into now we both have this same thing in common? We don't fuck with Mel. Mel has fucked with you and she's pissed me off too. So now let me counsel you and let's throw Mel in the fire and sit back and watch her burn. That's what it gives right here, Maurice. You're embarrassed that Mel won't stop talking about it. So this situation, this fire that you created can burn out. Have y'all noticed people like that? They do fucked up things. And because somebody won't stop talking about it, that fire won't die down and they get mad about it. That's what's wrong with you, Maurice. You've gone to court and you got out of this situation and Mel won't stop talking about it because you want everybody to forget that you are a lawyer who went out here and got a DUI and got busted for it and had a mugshot for it. And because Mel won't shut up talking about it, I miss the bubbly Mel, the one that comes out and was so sweet to everybody and stayed out of everybody's business while I stayed in hers. You a bitch boy. I'm sorry, you are. You do. You got the BBs. You are a bitch boy. That's what it gives. You guys have a common denominator in this situation here. You're mad at one person and one person only. So now let's get together and form an alliance, because we have this mutual combat situation where we're mad at the one person, and that's called Melody Cherie. So now it's given that you are initiating this secret attack of emotions on one person and one person only. Martell said, "Oh, I've seen that, Mel. I've experienced that, nigga. Bye." Let's continue.
Well, cool. At times, yep, you in that moment, and yeah,
you and Marcel decided y'all want.
That's so convenient. That is so convenient, Maurice, that you would sit there and play victim. The only reason you brought your ass over there was because you had to hurry up and sit down with Martell, because the things he was spewing out at Destiny's Big D event situation ship up over there was, niggas, I'm next. Because when Martell let me say it like you, when Martell gets mad, Martell is going to tell a bunch of shit that he doesn't need to say. And I just know my name is coming up next. So let me put $5 on pump 10 and curl my ass over there so I can sit down and stop this shit expeditiously in my T.I. voice. Oh yeah, Martell, you got to hurry up and shut him down, because everybody knows how Martell operates and how he move out here, honey. When he get mad, everybody about to get it. Okay. And obviously the shit didn't work, because he sat down with Ariana. You still called her fucking straight in the video. You still called her straight. Yeah, you did. You absolutely did. Shan absolutely caught. Yes, and Shan absolutely put you out there. Shan said she sat on one and one was in her mouth. Who were you the one in her mouth? See, she like people to shut up. Was you the one stopping her from talking? Was you the one making her make that sound? I'll wait. I got all the time in the world. Since you like everybody to shut up, Maurice, were you the one making Shan say, was you making her gag over there? Was that you? Because you like people to shut up, I noticed. You like people to shut up while you talk. Yeah, Deacon. Deacon Reese. Was that you over there? Oh God. Shan. Was you doing that shit over there in Vegas? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Was you giving an old face in the hotel over there with your brother waiting behind you to be up next? Because Shan says she slept with all of you guys in the room. She says, I was fucking Marcel first. And then his brother came in and he wanted some too. So I was sitting on one and I was singing on one. We got to keep it cute for YouTube's sake, child. And then the other real fat brother, the one that's shaped like the Michelin Man, aka the Hamburglar, him. Yeah, that's shaped like his mama with tits and hips and all of that. With the BBL on his titties. Nigga got BBL on his chest. How the fuck do you do that? But anyway, he came up, girl. And while everybody else was humping around like Bobby Brown, girl. Yeah. And then I think Martell came in as well. So the purpose for this conversation was not about Marcel. Who gives a fuck about Marcel? You didn't come over there to talk about him and no damn shoot. You weren't there to talk about no shit. You was coming over to tell Martell, look, Martell, you did a little bit too much at Destiny's event. And what I'm going to need you to do from here on out is do what they call shut the fuck up, nigga. Because when you tell on my brother, you're telling on me. I'm the gatekeeper for this bullshit. That's what you're doing. That was Shan over there. Back there, credit one. While you sitting there like this, hoping Kimmy and Tisha don't pull up. Sitting in your office chair up front. Being the whole secretary. That was your job. Y'all know he always stretch his eyes when he trying to get you to believe his bullshit. That's him sitting there looking like Destiny. That's you up there with your eyes this big. Up there's the whole secretary. You done checked Marceau and Shan in back there in their room. So you hoping that Kimmy don't bring her scarecrow fro up in that bitch. So you ain't got to explain to her what's going on back there with all that noise. With the table back there. Kimmy's like, what's that noise back there? With her country. Maurice, what's that noise back there in the office room? Okay. You don't want Kimmy coming over with that. Because Shan said they was in chairs, on tables. Oh, yeah, looking out the window too, Sean the Allen child. Oh, yeah, child. He like this out the window. Who's that peeping in my window? You was on that shit. This Maurice child. He the lookout man. He make shit on nobody's skirt, pull up out that child and break up none of that shit. Oh, man. He said, let me hurry up and get my ass over here and talk to Martel, bitch. Because, whoo, that was close. Woo. Y'all saw Kimmy's face when Martel was talking? Kim was like, oh, shit. Martel. And I said you was a good guy. And here you go. Here you go, about to put my husband out there, too. I'm the one that called you the good guy. Me, I'm the one that said that you was the good guy. And now you want to sit out here and telling my husband's business? Maurice, get over there and talk to Martel now. Kim probably sent you over there. That's what I get. Yeah, Kim probably sent you over there to go talk to Martel. Okay. Because Martel listened to you. You said that on the show. You said Martel, and even Martel said it. Martel said, really, the only person that could talk to me that I really listen to is Maurice. So they probably had a little Scott meeting and said, Maurice, get your ass the fuck over there and talk to Martel because he's telling too much now. Now, this ain't fun no more. This is supposed to be a reality TV show. Like, he is really bringing our reality into this shit, and we didn't sign up for this. Because I told y'all that Tisha and Marceau were not going to agree to be on the show if infidelity was going to be a part of this storyline. Because Marceau, I told y'all, this show was originally supposed to be like a HTV type thing to where they just like building. But when Carlos changed the name to Love and Marriage Huntsville, it made Marceau nervous. And he started putting all these boundaries in place. Like, look, he's saying, y'all heard him say in the interview, now I know about love. He said, I know about love and I know about building, but this love and marriage stuff, I don't know about this now. He was nervous, and he told production and he told Carlos King, if anything infidelity-wise come up, I'm not talking about it or I'm leaving the show. Why? Because he already knew he was doing some shit he shouldn't have been doing. Why? Because that's the reason you got fired from the movie theater. Because some hanky-panky bullshit was going on in the movie theater rooms. Lindsay, get in here. The white girl. I got your picture. Don't make me pull that shit up. Lindsay, get in here. Because you was probably... Because y'all know the white girls get nasty with that shit. Oh, the white girls get real nasty. Ooh, girl, they get nasty. Ooh, girl. Oh, they be nasty with it. So he know who to choose. He know who to choose. And don't forget that it was also revealed on the show that Marquez, which is Trisha's husband, he also worked at the movie theater. So my question is, did you partake in said situations that were going on? Because he knows exactly who Marceau is. Because he worked at the movie theater with him. So was he a part of that situation too? Because he like to hump around too, Marquez. I like you, Marquez. But you be doing splits on, well, you be having girls doing splits on dicks too. Because you got a whole what? Your baby, you got a young baby out here now. You been out here running through holes too. I think he got like a 3 or 4 year old. Younger than the kids he got with Trish. He got other kids other than Trish. And him and Trish still married. So that means you out here without protection. Not to tell all your business, because you know I'm going to do that. But anyway, so that was the purpose of you being there, Maurice. All right, we ain't got to stay on this. Shan already put it out there, and I don't usually believe hoes, but I do believe her. Because what reason would she have to lie about that? Okay, what reason would she have to lie about it? She is Ariana's friend, as I told you guys. As I told y'all months before we even heard of a damn Shan in an interview. All right, I've been saying Shan. So now you guys see. All right, but let's move on to other things. All right, we're going to spin the block on this. Let's get into some Royce news. Royce is airing out Dwight Howard. All right. I'm happy that she now gets to tell her story because during the time that she was on Basketball Wives, she could not. There were limited things that she could talk about in terms of her relationship with Dwight Howard because Dwight Howard had a gag order on her. There were a lot of things that she says that she went through that was abuse, in forms of sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional, psychological, like all of the things when it relates to abuse. So we're going to get into what she has to say. There's 3 parts to it. I did my due diligence to pull up all 3 so that we can hear what she has to say. I'm happy that she's speaking. I do remember she did the interview with Carlos King. She kind of touched on some of the things that happened to her, but now that this alleged gag order is up, she can finally speak her piece, and she's talking about things to where Dwight was also abusive towards her son as well. And I told you guys too that whenever Royce had to wind up turning herself in to go to jail behind her son inappropriately doing something to another child, her child was in the care of Dwight Howard during that time. And you guys know that Dwight been having the Trans Ams at his house, that inappropriate behavior. Royce is going to talk about a time when she was staying there during the pandemic at Dwight's house where he had all these crazy wild parties while his children were there as well. The Drugianas was just out on the table with the kids running around. Royce was scared, thinking that her son, who was young at the time, may have partaken in whatever was sitting out on the table. She said if naked women were running around with her children there, a man was hanging off a balcony because he was so drunk. And I said, Jesus, like how much can a person take? Let's get into what Royce has to say. A lot of people say, oh, why is she coming out with that now? If you don't know the backstory to that, then the reason why she's speaking now is because she can. Dwight has managed to use his high-powered attorneys and his money, because his money is long, in order to shut her up and drag her in and out of court in order to have his way because he could. So let's get into what she has to say. This says Royce Reed airs out child's father, Dwight Howard, part 1. She talks about meeting him, getting pregnant, him allegedly ghosting her, and finally responding. She says, I was asleep. She said, he says that I was asleep and I thought that you were on birth control. So she's saying how he tried to manipulate her and trick her into getting an AB because he did not want the child. Let's get into it.
Hey, y'all. I'm Royce. I'm a little under the weather, but I'm going to get this out. So this is my story about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004 to now.
Birthday girl.
All because I had a baby by Superman. Part 1. July 31st, 2004, I was at the movies at Downtown Disney with 2 of my friends. When 3 male figures walk in, one looking to be about an inch away from being a midget, the other very skinny and he had a bad acne problem, and another one who was extremely tall. As they come over to the concession stand, we are greeted with, y'all in my book. Our response was, what book? He goes, my yearbook. I then respond, no, sweetie, I'm grown. He goes, no, my magic book. Y'all used to dance with the magic. Oh, yes. He's like, I'm the rookie. Oh, hey. That's how that went. Okay. And he was talking about, oh, y'all not dancing this year, that we left them with the Lion King. Like it was a bunch of niceties and goofiness. And that was it. He still had braces. It was nothing. So we go to see The Notebook and they go to see something that I used to think was Transformers, but it was something along those lines. I don't know. Maybe iRobot. I don't know. Anyway, about 10, 20 minutes into our movie, I go to the bathroom because I am now in a full-blown argument with my then boyfriend, who is breaking up with me because he is swearing that I'm at the movies with a dude. Obviously, I am not, but he was very insecure and it was just an ongoing thing with us. So we broke up that day and I was devastated because what? I got dumped. Anyway. Walk out the bathroom and Superman is sitting there on the bench. And he goes, no one should ever make you cry like that. Okay, thank you. And he's like, nah, you know what I'm saying? I'm young, but no man should ever make you feel like that. He had braces. So I'm like, again, thank you. And I go on about my business and I go back to the movie. And I'm in the movie doing all of this, of course, on my little aim, my little sidekick. But by the end of the movie, I'm just kind of over it. So we're walking out the theater and they're leaning on the car like they're in Boys in the Hood. So we're walking across the street and his cousin comes up to me, which is the one with the acne problem. And he goes, hey, you know, my cousin trying to holler at you. And I was like, well, why is your cousin not over here? So he calls him over. And yes, we exchanged numbers. And yes, it probably was because, not even probably, it was because I was trying to make my now ex jealous. It is what it is. I was 24, whatever. So his first text to me was, hey, this is real name, the tall guy. So if you've ever seen me put TG on something or like heard about that nickname, that's where that came from. So anyway, fast forward, 2 months go by and I have not gone out with him. I haven't really said too much to him outside of like AIM and, you know, T-mail. So I was just being an asshole. Well, realizing that my relationship is now over for real. My dad is like, well, why not just go and like hang out? You know, he's like, you don't have to like do anything. He's like, but just hang out, you know, have like some male companionship. Not like that, but just someone to hang out with and have fun that enjoys doing like goofy shit like me, right? So we decide that we're going to go to the movies at Festival Bay, which is now changed names probably like 20 times. But we go to those movies and I'll never forget this day because this is when I felt the shift. But it was a man and his son. And the son ran up to me and was like, oh my God, you're a magic dancer. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I am. That never happens, y'all. People don't know the magic dancers here. Like, no, for real. People don't know the magic dancers at all. So I was like taken aback and he asked if he could take a picture. He pulls out a real camera and he takes a picture. After that day, there was a shift. I started getting invited to promos, to fashion shows, to theme parks, like, you know, team events. I was everywhere. And I had stated a few times that I was thinking about going back to dance and he was against it. So I did a brand ambassador tour with Cherry Vanilla Dr. Pepper, came back and I said, I've made up my mind. Like, I'm doing this. And was he being supportive of things that I was doing? Yes. He was at the fashion shows that I did with Gaucher. Yes, that Gaucher. Hey, girl. He was coming to my parties. I mean, he was around. So I'm not going to say like he wasn't doing anything. He was. But I wanted my career. I went back. The team took me back, knowing what our history was. I danced that year. The next year, I said I wanted to go to Miami. I said I wanted to dance for the Heat. That was my dream team, either there or the Dallas Cowboys. And both of those he was completely against, and I had no idea why. He would offer like our suggestions for other teams, but never those two. Just completely against anything in Texas and Miami. Now you'll know why. I audition for the team. I make it. Yay me. And after a couple weeks, there's a couple girls that are just treating me weird, and I didn't know why. Well, I ended up finding out that he had cheated on me with one of my teammates who used to live in Texas, but now was coming to the Heat. And he had been trying to get both of us to not say anything. Anyway, broke up with him and was trying to live my best life, y'all. Really was, right? And I ended up getting in an argument with one of my best friends on the team that you all know as Super Black Girl, Tracy. Got in an argument with her, so I was suspended for 2 weeks. So I went to Mexico with my DJ friend. And we had time of our life, whatever, came back and my phone is blowing up, my little sidekick. And it's him. And I'm asking for advice from my DJ friend. And he's like, hey, just go and talk to him. Just see what he got to say. You know, just hear him out. Like, maybe he really is sorry. Okay. I go to the hotel. And at first he wasn't in there because he was at like team meetings. But then he comes in. And we're in there and we're talking and he's pleading his case and asking for forgiveness, talking about how much he loves me and that he'll never do it again, that I'm the one for him, I'm perfect this, perfect that, all these things, y'all. And I said I would think about it. I said, I'll talk to you later. So I walked to the room, or I walked to the door, and he pulls me back with my arm, and he's like, well, can I at least have a hug?
Always start there.
Sure. That hug turned into kissing and touching and our child being conceived. I did not know I was pregnant until about a little over a month later, when I was in practice, and one of the dancers who, funny story, ended up marrying the head coach of, that's not important, sorry. So after practice, I go to Walgreens and I buy a pregnancy test, and I take it home, take the test, call my brothers and girlfriend, wait for the results. And when I see them, I start bawling. I literally lost it. I saw my entire career just disappear. And I was devastated. I called my mom in the same state of mind. She's losing it. She's freaking out until I finally tell her, like, I'm pregnant. She goes, oh, I thought you killed somebody. That's how hard I was crying. She asked me if I had told him, and I said, I've been texting him. I've been texting his cousin. I've been texting his best friend, and nobody was responding. And I said, Mom, I cannot be a mother. And I said, please help me. Like, I cannot be a mom. I'm not ready to be a mother. And she was like, well, you're going to have to tell your dad. So for 2 days, I waited for a response. And when I finally got one, the response was, I was asleep. I responded, for 2 days, you just played a game in Milwaukee last night. And then he responded, I thought you were on birth control. Hey, y'all.
Child.
Royce, I'm a little under the weather.
All right, so let's get up off her child on that one. There is 3 parts. All right, she is spilling some really good stuff. It gets worse. It gets worse. So I'm gonna skip 2 because it's not as juicy as 3. Let's get into 3. All right, because I listened to all of them, but part 2 is Let's get into part 3 because that's what's really, really like gearing. Here we go. Part 3 of Royce.
It's Royce. And I'm back again to tell you about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004.
Thanks, classic type lady.
Now, all because I had a baby by Superman, part 3. We are now in January of 2008, and I am at my cousin's house, the same cousin that stays around the corner from him. He calls and he says that he wants to come and have a talk with me. I said, okay. He comes by. Superman is bearing gifts. There's a brand new car outside for me, a Lexus SUV, a brand new Sidekick phone, and he offers to buy me a house. After talking it over with my dad, my mom, it was absolutely not, because the house is not going to be in your name, and it's something that he can take from you at any moment if he gets mad. So I declined it. He then said, well, let me refurnish your townhouse. Okay. I was not asked about any type of furniture. They just showed up at my door one day and just started bringing stuff in. No lie. I had no say so. When it came down to me needing diapers and bottles and now formula, because I'm no longer able to breastfeed, my body wasn't producing enough milk. His mom did at one point come by with a bunch of diapers. I was very thankful. But that was it. There was nothing else. There was no help. There was nothing. At this point, I auditioned for a dancing gig at Holy Land, and I got the gig. So I began dancing in late January. So now I have a job. I'm working. On the days that I had to work, my child was with my parents, and on occasion, he would be with his father and the nanny and his girlfriend. Well, there were days where he would come home from seeing or spending time with his father, and he would be very colicky, throwing up, like sick. I mean, fevers, would have to take him to the doctor. It was a lot. That relationship he was in ended. I find out later on that the reason my child was returned super colicky, sick, throwing up, all these things, only to then be told it was because they were purposely giving him food that was opposite of what he was eating. I would pack a bag and I would have it listed of what he should be eating for lunch, for dinner, all these things. And he was intentionally given the opposite. So when he would be returned home, he was sick, colicky, throwing up, having to go to the hospital. When I confronted the situation, I was told that that was a lie and that it was only done because they thought I was trying to micromanage, and they decided that they were just going to give him whatever they wanted to give him. Okay. I let it go, y'all. Now, again, we've had the birthday party. We've had our Christmas. Things seem to be going okay, right? We've now gone to mediation, and in mediation, we agreed to a child support number, and it was drastically, probably a third of what one of my attorneys was requesting. I said that I didn't want to seem like I was out for his money, so I was okay with the amount that was given. Totally fine. Moving forward, I start dating. Now, all of a sudden, I think we should make this work. This is your first kid. This is, my first kid. Let's make this work. Now, this is where I could probably be stupid. Well, I was dumb. I saw family. And I am a very forgiving person. If you know anything about me, I forgive way too much. So we decided to work on a relationship. Crazy, right? But we did. Almost immediately, I regretted it. I was forced to do things sexually that I did not necessarily agree with. But because I wasn't that experienced, I thought it was normal. And I never complained about it. I just felt like this was me experiencing things that maybe he has experienced and I have not. That's when things started turning verbally and physically and also mentally abusive. I was told that I was stupid. I was told that nobody would ever want me. I was told that everybody here loved him and hated me. And how does it feel to have my hometown turn on me? I better not ever leave him. If I left him ever, he would make my life a living hell. And he did. There were days that I would be at his home and I was threatened with a knife, and then it was laughed off. But when the knife was in my face, it was, I could kill you right now and get away with it because I could claim self-defense and they would believe me and not you because who are you? That happened. He came to my house one day to pick up our child, and because I did not have a bag packed or orange Trident gum or soda in my refrigerator, he followed me into our child's closet and he grabbed me and he pushed me to the floor and said, in the future, I better have his bag waiting. I then left. I go out into the family room and I'm telling his best friend, the one that's an inch away from being a little person. And I'm like, get your friend. He's going crazy. What's wrong with him? Well, he comes in there and he, in front of his best friend, as well as my goddaughter, my other goddaughter, he grabs my hair and he forces me to the floor. And he's like, who the are you talking to? Our child, who is not even 2 yet, is thinking he's playing. So he's grabbing at his leg with his baby voice, and he throws me into the entertainment center. When he threw me into the entertainment center, it broke the door. So I was flung into the one on the right, and our son, who was grabbing him and like thinking he was playing, he then flung him into the other door. I do not think that was intentional. I don't think he knew his own strength, but that's what he did. And it did break that door as well. Our son started crying. His best friend was like, man, what you doing?
Superman would have flew that day. I'm sorry.
Like, that's a female. And he's just not caring. That's when I realized, like, oh my God, I'm in a relationship that I swore I would never be in. Now, moving on, The day that I really wanted to leave was a day where I did not want to have relations with him. And he then forced me to give him fellatio. I know you're wondering, how does someone force you into doing that? When you are dealing with someone that is that big and you are that small, and you're terrified of them, and they have gotten away with so much and doing so many things, and you're still the one made out to be crazy and bitter, you're probably willing to do just about anything just to get through it. And that's where I was. After that, another nanny came into the picture. I knew this nanny was not okay. When she would drop our child off, he would sit in the doorway and he was hitting himself. Or he would be in the bathtub and he would be playing with himself in a really weird way that just didn't seem right. Of course, he was little, so he couldn't really vocalize things. But yeah, I could tell something wasn't right. There was the day where I invited her inside and I sat her down and I said, I just need to talk to you. And I said, have you ever put your hands on my son? And she swore up and down no. And I said, well, why is he sitting in the doorway hitting himself or playing with himself in the bathtub? And she was like, oh my God, I don't know. Why would you even ask me something like that? I said, because I want to know. She swore up and down that she had never put her hands on my son in an inappropriate way or even as a disciplinarian. I said, okay. And I said, but if I find out that you have ever put your hands on my son, we're going to have a problem. She asked me if that was a threat. I said, no, it's not a threat. It's a promise. She then went back and told them that I threatened her. And I told them the same thing, that I didn't threaten her, that I made a promise. And that's when things started getting hidden from me about what was going on at that house with my child. But I found out anyway. This is also around the time that Basketball Wives was coming to fruition. Hey y'all, it's Royce, and I'm back again to tell you about
what she had to say. So he was very violent towards her and her child, and he was very controlling behind the scenes, and he knew that Royce was going to go and talk about this. So what did he do? He used his attorneys and his money to run ahead of her, to silence her by getting her to sign NDAs and to keep her from being able to speak on him on Basketball Wives. That's why she didn't really have a storyline like that. She was following Evelyn and everybody else around, getting into it with them, fighting Evelyn. And y'all remember, she just really could not talk about her life. And people were saying, why can't Royce talk about her life? She's dating Dwight Howard. Why we can't hear about that? She couldn't, or she would have been sued, because he had all these legal ramifications around her and her not being able to talk. Like, you could be on the show, but you can't talk about me. Well, at the time, that's what her life was about. She had a child by him. She was in a relationship with him, and it was very volatile. And when she wanted to move on, he wouldn't allow her to do that. And he would be aggressive towards her and then try to lure her back by saying, hey, we're family, let's be together. And a lot of people get lured like that. But he's very big. If you guys don't know how big Dwight Howard is, just his shoulders alone, he's huge. He's huge. When you guys see him on TV versus like in person, bitch, he is big. So, and Royce is like a teeny weeny little something. So imagine her up against him. It's no match whatsoever. So I can get where she said she was afraid of him, especially when he gets mad. If you guys remember this most recent lawsuit where the guy that's a Trans Am came out to say that Dwight was aggressive towards him. They met in the DMs and he came over there, and Dwight tried to trick him into having a third person in their situationship. And dude, he declined and said he didn't want to do it. He said Dwight turned into like this person. He didn't even know. He was afraid. So his face got real demonic, and like he came at him and grabbed him to try to like force him to do something he didn't want to do. And would not allow him to leave when he wanted to. So that's why I said a lot of this stuff that Royce is saying is definitely in conjunction to what this guy that was in the lawsuit said. And Dwight had to wind up paying this guy in the lawsuit to just kind of make it go away. And then he started doing videos and saying, people were like, well, are you gay? And he was just saying, well, what I do in my bedroom is none of nobody's business. So he never, dismissed the fact, or he never said that he wasn't. Not that it matters, but I feel like he's fighting to live his truth. and he's worried about what other people will say about him and judge him. So he does these things behind closed doors, because that's not the first time we've heard of him hitting people up in DMs, guys to be exact, and Transams to come over to his place and have extracurricular activities. But then he's hiding who he really is by being with these women, these well-known women in the industry, like Royce and now Amy, who you guys know have been on basketball. I'm not basketball wives, but Love and Hip Hop. So he dates these high-profile women in order to hide who he really is behind closed doors. So people like what they like. It is what it is, but he is very aggressive, according to Royce, and according to the lawsuit that was recently filed against him. I think Royce needs to stay the fuck away from him and don't allow him to manipulate her into trying to come back to. I don't give a damn if y'all do have a child together. Raise that child, do what you need to do for your child, and stay the hell away from him, because she said that he turned it off and on just like this in terms of getting mad. He's strong as hell. If he could throw her from one side of the room to the other, that shit is wild. And he did same thing allegedly to old boy when he came over there, and he said he was scared out of his fucking mind when Dwight Howard stood over him and was aggressive and trying to make him do sexual favors that he did not want to do. I was like, shit, that would have been scary too, big as his ass is. But let's continue. All right, so let's get into some Diddy news, and then I got to spin the block on Martell. Then we're going to look at this new clip for Bell Collective, all right, for their next part 2 of their reunion. All right, so let's get into this Diddy news. They're saying that Diddy had some type of meltdown in prison, you guys, around the holidays. Let's get into it. I've been trying to stay away from Diddy news a little bit because it's kind of annoying to talk about Diddy. I'm sick and tired of hearing about Diddy. But when it's like some really like good news that I know you guys can use, I absolutely have to pull that, and we're going to talk about it. Now, they're saying that Diddy reportedly had a meltdown, you guys, in jail after the Christmas holidays, after all the failed bail attempts. He was really hoping it was very optimistic that he was going to get out of jail. Given that all the money that he offered up, he was selling properties, he was putting houses up as collateral in order to get out. And he really thought that because he was Diddy, that the courts were going to be like, okay, yeah, we'll take the money and just get on out. But with everything that he offered in this last bail attempt, in terms of being on house arrest, having the guards at the gate, having people sign in and out, and that he would stay away from any female women, stayed away from women unless it's his children and his mom. Like, he put all these ramifications, he and his attorneys put all these ramifications in place to pass to the judge and say, hey, I'll follow all of these rules and regulations if you let me out. But given that he's been badgering certain witnesses, that he's been doing illegal activities, they're saying even while being locked up, now they've given him a laptop, which I think is a whole setup. And I said that before, like, they didn't trust you on phone calls, but then they let you have a laptop knowing that you're going to be contacting certain people and doing certain things, because it is monitored. So I was like, nigga, you stupid as fuck. I'd be like, I own a fucking laptop because y'all monitoring. If I click one little thing, y'all ass gonna be like, yup, he gonna get more time. But anyway, they're saying that Diddy had some type of meltdown where he was going crazy in the prison. All right. Now, he's in the MDC, child, in New York. Let's get into it. It says that Diddy is reportedly struggling with his ongoing time in federal lockup, experiencing a meltdown, honey, at the Metropolitan Detention Center, which is MDC, in New York after Christmas. Now, it says that, can you blame him? Dude is in what is considered a hellhole. They said it's one of the worst prisons. In addition to, what's the other place in prison, which they say is really, really bad? I forget the name of it. Anywho, so like Epstein had a whole suicide, they're saying, in there. So Epstein ended his life in the same prison that they're saying that Diddy is locked up in, okay? It says, but anyways, the frustration reportedly stems from his inability to secure bail months after his September arrest on SEX crime. So he going to fuck crazy in there, which is good for you, because think about all the victims who went crazy. Think about Cassie and all the moments that she had to go crazy within the 10 to 12 years that she was with you, while you was putting hands on her, making her be with male SEX workers and women, probably, while she was made to take drugs, and all of the things that she has said in her lawsuit, where you pretty much was trying to be a Billy Badass and said that all those things were lies and that you were not going to adhere to what was said in the lawsuit when you turned right around within 24 hours and paid her what she asked for. There says that now get this, says that according to a source close to the situation, that the disgraced mogul, which is Diddy, his emotional breakdown occurred on December the 26th when he found himself still behind bars despite assembling a high-powered legal team to secure his release, child. So he was sure that all these high-powered people he had around him could pull some strings to get him out, because that's what he wants. He doesn't want to be restrained. He doesn't want to be told what to do. He's in a place now where others are telling him what he has to do, and he has to listen. If he doesn't, there's repercussions behind that. And now it's starting to get to him. He's starting to be broken down. Again, he's been in there since September, and they're slowly breaking him down. He's got to be in there until his trial, which is coming up May the 5th, which is Cinco de Mayo of 2025. That is if it doesn't get pushed back due to any type of evidence or whatever that they're still looking through, combing through, whatever. You guys know how cases are. They give you a date, and if there's anything that they have to look into in terms of discovery wise, it will get pushed back. Let's continue. It says that he is expected to be out on bail. He was expected to be out on bail by now, according to a source in the Daily Mail. Shout out to them and shout out to the source, because that's what we're reading. But after multiple failed attempts to be granted release, the situation reportedly became overwhelming to Diddy. So he's freaking out like, bitch, I have given everything I can. My attorneys have submitted everything possible in order to get me out. I think the realization that Diddy is not in control anymore is really starting to set in with him, and he's losing his fucking mind in jail. And that's great for you, because think about all of your victims who've been through everything that you put them through since the 90s up until 2024, and we're still hearing about cases, case after case after case after case, about SA victims coming forward saying that you were forcing yourself on them, that different things were done, physical, emotional, psychological, and all these other things that they've had to deal with at the hands of you, Diddy, and the people surrounded by you that you pay in order to carry out things allegedly. And now that you are in a place where you are being held accountable, thank you, justice system. That's all I can say. Thank you. This is where you belong. So you have that same God complex that R. Kelly had, where he was untouchable, and now you see your ass is being touched. Probably like it in there too, because yeah. But anyway, on a serious note, he is in a place where he needs to be. I do not feel like he should have ever gotten any type of bond or bail, because he is dangerous. For you to call what's the child from Dirty Money 30 something times in a day, that's extreme. That is extreme, in order to get her not to speak on you and or tell on you about something that she stood there and witnessed herself. But because you can pass over a little money and have somebody pay her to be quiet, you felt like you were in control. But now that you can't get out and scare people into talking, the feds know what they're doing. The lawyers and attorneys and the courts are not going to allow you to get out and scare people into not cooperating with this case, because this is a very huge case. A lot of people are getting the strength to come forward, especially since Diddy is locked up, knowing that he does not have that reach like he used to have when he was running the streets. So having him locked up is the best thing since sliced bread, in order to get this case up and running and get the correct feedback from people who have been victimized by him, and also get a guilty verdict, because that's what they're trying to get. Diddy has gotten away with so much over the years, you guys, so much. Kind of like R. Kelly. The first case, R. Kelly's ass should have been locked the fuck up. But because I feel like people were being paid in order to allow him to have his way, he was able to flex his money and his power around. And he got away with that first case in order to pay the girl who was victimized to not be in the country to testify against him. And then here he is back in the same thing again, and it's worse. And now his ass is locked up and not getting out anytime soon. And I think Diddy is really starting to think about things like that. Like, damn, they got me, they got R. Kelly. Like, damn, now we're hearing about Jay-Z, who could probably be in the same situation soon. Like, it's really starting to get real. So he's freaking out. He's having meltdowns, and he's struggling mentally, psychologically, that he's sitting in a small cell and he can't do shit and or go anywhere. And they're saying that he's not eating in prison. They said that the last time he did go to court for his last bail hearing, Diddy was very small, because he's been denying food, thinking that someone was on the inside trying to jeopardize his food. So that is it, and that is all on Diddy, honey. I don't know. I don't know. I'm happy that he's still in there, though. I'm happy for Cassie's sake, for anybody else's sake, that he's victimized and that he's hurt while he was out free. Okay. All right. I want to do one more video from Love Marriage Huntsville, because this one stuck out to me. We're going to still review it when I review the show, but this kind of stuck out to me because I feel like Martell Holt is hiding behind his children in order to avoid being held accountable for the things that he's done in terms of therapy. Now, you guys know the judge and the courts have ordered Martell to have a psychiatric evaluation. He's been avoiding doing that, and I feel like he's not ready to take accountability for the things that's really going on with him mentally up here. Because, you know, a lot of times when we're dealing with things secretly, like I feel Martell is, I think it really bothered him. Out of all the things that Tisha and everybody else had to say about him, the one thing that stuck out to him the most was that he was gay. We've been talking about this. We've been talking about this. We've been talking about this. I keep saying Martell has certain mannerisms that gives broke wrist. And I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying if it walk like a duck, it's quack, quack a duck. Sometimes, allegedly, hypothetically, and in my opinion, okay? So I'm going to play this clip for you guys, and let's watch the manipulation that Martell is giving this particular therapist, if we can call her that, because I feel like Martell also likes to choose female therapists because he likes to be able to manipulate them, because he knows females, especially pick-me's, think that he's so fine and that he can manipulate them by his looks and the way he look at them and his mannerisms towards them. I feel like it was highly inappropriate, and somebody might say, Caramel, what's wrong with that? I feel it was highly inappropriate for you, one, to have her come to your house that late at night. Two, you're sitting there with no shoes and or socks on, which is a deflection, which is a distraction, to where instead of her looking at you in your eyes in order to have a real conversation with you, she's looking at your feet, she's sizing you up, she thinks that you're fine, you're staring at her in a certain way, which I felt was inappropriate. If you guys can watch this, because I told you I don't miss shit. I feel like this was inappropriate. At one point, I caught her blushing whenever he says something to her. This was an entire inappropriate behavior therapy session, and I'm gonna call it that. Okay, I'm gonna call it that. Let's go ahead and play it. I will stop it periodically, and then I'll play it all the way through without interruption so that you guys can get the entire video. So I'll play it and stop it and kind of give commentary in between. Let's go. Let's share first, though, of course, because I want you guys to see and pay very close attention to Martell and how she interacts when she's speaking to him, how she's looking at him. He only likes to choose females to work with him in terms of therapy and in terms of being his attorneys. All of his attorneys, with the exception of one, have been females. And I feel like he uses that to his advantage for inappropriate behaviors, I'll say. Let's get into it.
How is everything with you?
Everything is
That's
overall
the question.
good. You know, just busy. You know.
Rule number one. I get it, you're home, Martell. It's like I'm just happy he wasn't sitting here in his robe. Y'all know Martell is always in his robe. She seems a little uncomfortable. You should have maybe put on some socks, which it would not have been a distraction with her sitting there staring at your feet and trying to remain professional in this setting. Okay, let's continue.
No kids and sports. Martell started sports up, baseball, and Mariah. Just got done with a couple tournaments over the last couple weekends.
Okay, so let's jump right in.
Yep.
Okay, so notice the therapist, and I can talk about therapy. I go to therapy and I enjoy it. The therapist is asking him, what's going on with you? Keyword you. Martell wants to beat around the bush and talk about everything else instead of what's going on with him. The kids are doing this. Mariah is doing this. Boss Baby is doing this. Tank is doing this. She didn't ask about the kids. Thank you for telling her. She's not there to talk about the kids. She's there to talk about you.
Well, let's not waste no time.
I want to hear your goals.
My goals is to really just raise some successful children, and
that's a great goal.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Your goals, Martell, your goals. What are your goals in terms of changing from where you were divorce-wise up until now? The children are fine. Melody has the children in therapy. The children are fine until they come and stay with you. Her question to you was, what changes have you made? What's going on with you? He's still taking it back, reverting back to the children as a deflection of talking about what the real conversation should be about, which is his growth and development. Let's get into it.
However,
yeah, I know. You're right.
That does not replace what your purpose is and what your calling is. short-term goals are great. I want to make sure my kids do well this school year. I want to make sure they have the discipline that they need to become great adults. All of those things are good, but we've been working on just you elevating your vision for yourself.
If I take any steps back with my kids in trying to build myself right now, if I do anything extra for myself, I think that they're going to be missing a lot right now. And
it's not about the kids. You see him keep going back to the kids. She's steady trying to redirect the conversation back to him and his therapy, his well-being, his growth, and he keeps going back to the children.
It's a sacrifice that I have to make. You know what I'm saying? It's the sacrifice that I know that I was going to have to make going through the divorce and stuff like that, and just knowing my ex-wife and me knowing me, you know?
Why are those two things have to compete for you? Okay. You owe it to them.
Yeah.
To develop yourself.
You're right. Let me stop having excuses. That's what I got. I have excuses.
That's what I got.
Because again, I can do that at 11, 12 o'clock at night in terms of self-development. So let me stop having excuses.
We've been talking a lot about inner substance versus the exterior.
Yeah.
Surface
deeper.
level, digging deeper. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I've always said I'm mentally strong because it's like I can stop something in a minute. You know?
That's the problem. When you're dealing with emotional, psychological, and internal behaviors, why would you need to stop it if those are things that you're trying to grow from? If you're trying to fix those things and or go to therapy for those things, that's the one thing you need to let out. And that's the problem with Martel. He masks how he really feels and what's going on with him. And it's like it continues to bubble up and stack up like dirt, like sweeping dirt on a rug. After a while, it's going to be a hump. It's going to be visible if you don't address it. And that's been the problem with Martel. He doesn't address those behaviors because he feels like as long as he can go in the gym and do this, that this makes him strong, which really internally he's weak. And he's compensating for his strength, his physical strength, for his spiritual strength, his emotional strength. And he's using his children as a deflection of him healing from his real pain. Martel is dealing with a lot of pain, and it starts from his childhood, but he doesn't want to dig up under that and pull that shit up out of there from the root because he's afraid of being exposed. Notice how mad he got when Tisha said what she said about him. Going from messing with men since college. This is something we've never heard about. But these are his friends who have been around him since forever. They know Martel. They went to school with Martel. These are secrets that they've sat on. So because you've been exposed, anytime Martel is exposed, notice he did not become as anal towards Melody until she started talking and exposing him for the things that she went through in the marriage, because he wanted everybody to think that from the outside looking in that they were a perfect couple. Nobody knew that Melody and Martel were dealing with what they were dealing with inside their home until she decided to not fool with him anymore, and she got her strength enough to talk about and expose who Martel really is. Oh yeah, exposure makes people mad. Martel is trying to hold on to whatever it is that he's keeping inside and trying to deflect through his children in terms of saying, I'm a great father. I want to make sure my children are fine, when his children are great. The problem is him, if you guys notice that. Let's continue. Notice every live he get on, my beautiful children, my 4 beautiful children, my 4 beautiful children. He likes to repeat that. I'm a great father. I'm a great father. It's not about that, Martel. It's not about, and you're not a great father. Because if you were a great father, you would make sure that you were in a great capacity in order to be a great father to your children. When you're lacking emotionally, psychologically, physically, then you're not able to be a great father to your children, who have to come to you through the courts, week on, week off, and be around that toxicity because you are choosing not to heal. So you choose to abuse them through the fact that you choose to not heal, and it's not fair to them. So in this session, you're saying that your children are your well-being, that you have their best interest at heart. But on the flip side, what this person sitting here, your therapist, doesn't know, that in court documents, these same children that you said you want to make sure they're fine, you've been said to have put hands on them, still spanking them using corporal punishment for 56 days you could not see and or be around them because of your behavior and or anger. What she's asking you is, what are you doing in order to fix Martel? Let's continue.
You know, but it just certain things. It's a certain thing that it's been difficult for me to stop, you know? God like has revealed people for who they are, their intentions and things like that. But you know, people call them red flags. Mm-hmm. And you know, sometimes I ignore them or I sweep it under the rug and I keep it in my life, and you know, that becomes a circle, you know? And I think that's damaging to me. It's even damaging to them too, you know? Instead of me just, like you said, just cutting it off. And sometimes I don't know how to cut stuff off.
And I get it. It's always difficult to sometimes let go of things that feel like we get some type of satisfaction out of them.
100%.
But you not being willing to let those things go and really focus on your development. I think it's the same thing you do with the children. You use the children to not really focus on your development. Mm. And none of these relationships are really getting the best of you.
That's the first thing that she said, right, this entire time. He does use the children. He does use the children.
Yeah, okay. Mentally, I have to become a lot stronger to let things go that I know that's not good for me when it comes to people.
What else do you need to?
Who in particular, Martel? The first person, and I think Martel could be a better person that he needs to let go, is Ariane. Because she feeds into a lot of negativity. Even when he wants to do right sometime and not do certain things, I feel like Ariane is just in his ear like the devil, and she manipulates the situation because she doesn't want him to heal and get better, because that means that he will not see her. Ariane wants to be seen. Ariane, for the longest, even when Martel was with Melody, Ariane fought so hard to be seen and recognized and had by Martel. She did not grow up with her father. So the first man who she felt showed her some type of real attention, which was Martel, she fought so hard to keep it, even if it meant breaking up a family. And Martel will never be at his best while he fucks with her. And that's just on real talk. She is a cancer in this situation. She has caused you to lose everything. But like he said, he's not strong mentally. You're not strong mentally because you don't see the very thing that's keeping you from healing. Not so you can be back with Mel, because that's destroyed. That's over. That'll never be. So that you can finally get yourself in a place of healing, because it's unheard of for someone to go this long and still be in the same place they were during the time that you signed your fucking divorce papers. You've not healed. You've not grown. You've not elevated. You've not done anything business-wise. Everything you throw at the wall, it does not stick. You are damaged. The first person that you need to get the fuck away from is Ariane. But because you are y'all have soul ties now, you can still co-parent with her. You can still co-parent with her, but you got to get away from her, because until you do, you will not be able to fully heal and become the best person that you can be for not only yourself, but for your children. And what you're doing is causing those same children that you keep throwing up in this session to hate you. And the only reason why they haven't told you how they really feel about your ass is because they can't, out of fear of you spanking them or being aggressive towards them. I feel like the children are very afraid of him, because that's what he instills in them when he does not do that to Knox. I don't feel like Knox is scared of him at all. I don't feel like he disciplines him, and I keep saying it, but I feel like the energy that he gives his 4 children from Melody is because he knows that anytime he hurt those kids, he's hurting her, because that's her heartstrings. Her children is her heart. And that's a fact. That's with any parent. But in his situation, Martel is hiding his hurt and his emotions through his healing, through his children. His children are going through it when they're with him because they don't have a fucking choice. And he made it that way. He can very well give Melody full custody while he get his shit together. I don't feel like she would keep the children from seeing him. I don't don't feel like she would do that as a mother, but I feel like he could give her full custody until he got himself together fully. But he refuses to do that because Martel, like any other narc, likes what? Control. It's about control for him. He'd rather see those kids unhappy and suffer because he's suffering. And he doesn't know how to get out of that mode. So he's comfortable there. And that's how people who are toxic do. They become comfortable in their toxicity. And that's what Martel is doing. And he's trying to make the children be comfortable in that toxicity as well. But they're getting counseling and therapy. They're in a normal environment over here with their mother. So when they're in this toxicity, they realize that this is not normal. So they're not going to conform to what he wants them to conform to, like Knox. Knox is in a toxic situation. He is completely different. And not to compare children, but look how he behaved and look how Melody's kids behave. He don't care about Knox like that. I'm not gonna say he don't love him, that's his child, but he doesn't really care. That child is used as a pawn in order to get back at his other children and make them jealous as well as Melody. And it's not working. And this is why Martel is being spiritually whipped because of what he continues to do. And he refuses to really seek the help that he needs to get out of that. And until you stop and break sources with Ariane, it's not going to happen. But let me tell you what's going to happen. And the only way it's going to happen is jail time. I think Ariane is going to wake up like Stockholm Syndrome when they lock Martel up because she's not going to have that. She's not going to have him in her ear and he's not going to have her in his ear. I think she's going to go on with her life because she's not going to be able to survive waiting on him. She's going to be forced to get a job. She's saying she worked now. I doubt it. She's going to be forced to get a job in order to take care of herself and her children. She's probably going to move out of Huntsville, to be honest with you, and probably move to Atlanta where her sister is, so that she can have a support system because she don't really have that in Huntsville except for with Martel. That's what's keeping her there. So once he goes to jail for this revenge peace situation and for violating numerous court orders, I think something's going to snap in her to where she's going to get the fuck away from him and she's going to leave him alone finally. And I think he's going to realize by sitting in a jail cell that he definitely needs to get the help that he needs and that he's really fucked up his life for real. The weirdest thing is I don't feel like Martel really gets it. I don't think he really gets it still after all this time. He's still blaming everybody else for messing up his marriage except himself. And it didn't have to go that far. Let's continue.
To work on.
Honestly, I think that's it.
She asked him, is there anything else that you need to work on? He said, honestly, I think that's it. Look at her reaction.
Why you look like that? I'm so sorry. Well, as I talk to you, you tell me where I'm damaged at and what I need to work on, because I just know that has been that's been major for me right there. Being able to cut people off when I know that they're not a benefit in my life, or when I know when they don't belong in my life.
Why you can't do that with Ariane? You're saying that you have the ability to cut people off when they're not supposed to be in your life, or when you know that they're not good for your life. So why not do that with Ariane? Why not do that with Ariane? I feel like you're living vicariously through Ariane and thinking that it's Mel. I did not tell y'all that the other day. I feel like mentally Martel has told himself that Ariane is Melody. He can't have Melody, so he keeps Ariane close by. And you got sick people out there that's like that. That call other women names. They can't be with the woman, so they be with somebody else, and they're calling that woman that they're maybe intimate with, the person that they want to be with, calling their name in the middle of certain sexual sessions because they're so fucking crazy. I feel like Martel, like I said, when he showed up down there at the little Opry place where Mel takes the kids, where he and Mel used to take the kids, he's reliving those memories with Ariane because it makes him feel closer to Mel. Y'all get that? That's why they say he needs a psych eval. Y'all write in the chat. That's why they say he needs a psychiatric evaluation, because he's now starting to paint a certain picture in his mind by having Ariane around, that she's living vicariously through Melody. When he looks at Ariane, he probably sees Melody, even though she's no comparison. When he lays down with her at night, he's thinking, oh, I got Melody now in his mind. He's entertained that. That's why he can't move on. because he's told himself, I can't have her physically, but in this way, I feel like I have her. I'm going to visit all the places that me and Mel used to take the kids, and I'm going to stand here and I'm going to get a visual of all these things that we used to do when we were together. Even if it's not real, it makes me feel like it's real because I got Ariane here and I can look at her and I can see Mel. It's weird. It's weird, y'all. Something's really going on with Martell.
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You need a vision. Without a vision, people perish.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's really, the practice of mindfulness. Have you ever said, I'm just going to pray for a second?
I need to pray more, and I need to get it more to depth of praying as well. So, yeah.
And it's easier when you set the atmosphere.
Yeah, I'm with you.
To do it.
Okay. Okay, cool.
How is everything with you?
Straight through, no interruptions, so you guys can hear, okay?
I think it's
That's the question.
Good. Just busy.
Let me stop it because I see y'all in the chat kind of going back and forth. When I say that when he look at Ariane, he see Mel, I don't mean physically. I mean like in a mental type way. You guys get what I'm saying? When he's looking at Ariane, he knows that Ariane is not Melody. But having her there, having a female source there, somebody who does all the things that Melody used to do, like cook, that's why he said she's got work to do. So he has her doing all the things that Melody used to do. And that's why he keeps her close, because he needs that female interaction. Okay. He can control her like he tried to used to do Mel. But I feel like when he looks at Ariane, he visualizes, let's put that word in there because it makes it a little more real. I feel like he visualizes Ariane being Melody, because he just said recently on this new episode that he is still in love with Melody. He said, if y'all would ask me, Martell, are you still in love with Mel? I would be lying like a motherfucker if I said I didn't. Yeah, I still love her. So he openly admitted that he is still in love with Melody. So he looks at Ariane and he's taking her all the places that he and Melody used to go to, restaurants and stuff, and he's trying to relive all the moments and memories that he and Mel had. That's exactly what he's doing. He misses that. He misses those things.
Kids and sports. Martell started sports up, baseball, and Mariah just got done with a couple of tournaments over the last couple of weekends.
Okay, so let's jump right in.
Yeah, let's not waste no time.
I want to hear your goals.
My goals is to really just raise some successful children, and
that's a great goal.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. However,
yeah, I know you're right.
That does not replace what your purpose is and what your calling is. Short-term goals are great. I want to make sure my kids do well this school year. I want to make sure they have the discipline that they need to become great adults. All of those things are good, but we've been working on just you elevating your vision for yourself.
If I take any steps back with my kids in trying to build myself right now, if I do anything extra for myself, I think that they're going to be missing a lot right now.
I'm sorry to stop it. Can everybody put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me? I keep seeing some people say I'm on mute. Put a 1 if you guys can hear me. Put a 2 if you cannot. Put a 1 if you can hear me. Put a 2 if you cannot. I see ones that said, I can hear you, Real. I can hear you. I see the 1. Okay, for those of you that cannot, please refresh your device, please. Please refresh your device if you can hear me. Let's continue.
And it's just a sacrifice that I have to make. You know what I'm saying? It's a sacrifice that I know that I was going to have to make going through the divorce and stuff like that, and just knowing my ex-wife and me knowing me, you know?
Why are those two things have to compete for you? You owe it to them.
Yeah.
To develop yourself.
You're right. Let me stop having excuses. That's what I got. I have excuses.
That's what I got.
Because again, I can do that at 11, 12 o'clock at night in terms of self-development. So let me stop having excuses.
We've been talking a lot about inner substance versus the exterior.
Yeah.
Digging surface deeper. Level, digging deeper. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I've always said I'm mentally strong, because it's like I can stop some in a minute, you know, but it just certain things. It's a certain thing that it's been difficult for me to stop, you know. God has revealed people for who they are, the intentions and things like that. But you know, people call them red flags. And you know, sometimes I ignore them or I sweep it under the rug and I keep it in my life, and you know, that becomes a circle, you know. And I think that's damaging to me. It's even damaging to them too, you know. Instead of me just, like you said, just cutting it off, sometimes I don't know how to cut stuff off.
And I get it. It's always difficult to sometimes let go of things that feel like we get some type of satisfaction out of them.
100%.
But you not being willing to let those things go and really focus on your development. I think it's the same thing you do with the children. You use the children to not really focus on your development. And none of these relationships are really getting the best of you.
Yeah, okay. Mentally, I have to become a lot stronger to let things go that I know that's not good for me. When it comes to people.
What else do you need to work on?
Honestly, I think that's it. Why you look like that? I'm so. Well, as I talk to you, you tell me where I'm damaged at and what I need to work on, because I just know that has been like that's been major for me right there. Being able to cut people off when I know that they're not a benefit in my life, or when I know when they don't belong in my life. Put it like that. Yeah.
You need a vision. Without a vision, people perish.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's really, the practice of mindfulness. Have you ever said, I'm just going to pray for a second?
I need to pray more, and I need to get it more to depth of praying as well. So, yeah.
And it's easier when you set the atmosphere.
Yeah, I'm with you.
To do it.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, cool.
How is it?
He said, I need to pray more. That means you pray. When do you have time to pray? Because it's giving you be doing a lot of evil shit. I mean, not to be all biblical, but and I know it's Sunday, but Martell, God is not the God of confusion, sir. He really is not. God is not a God of confusion. So when do you pray, if you pray at all? Because he said he used to go to church all the time, and he went up to the pastor and had the pastor pray for him one time to help him stop cheating. But then you went right back out there and did the same thing. You had to put forth the effort. You can't just go up there and get prayer. And you can't just pray for your situation. You also have to make an effort in order to change those things that you want to work on. Okay. It starts with you. You can't just say, oh, I prayed today and I still went out here and ran through a legion of hoes. Yeah, no, some things you got to do. It's some things you got to do. And I feel like if Martell had this moral compass, okay, I feel like if he had this thing in him that told him not to do certain things, I feel like Martell is so used to pushing past his intuition until he just does things just without thinking. And when he blows up and gets mad, it's just like World War X, where everybody involved catching strays and bombs over Baghdad because his ass just don't have no self-control. It's crazy. It's as crazy as you sitting here having a therapy session with no damn socks on, which is a total deflection, and your therapist trying to focus on giving you sound advice while she looking at them fucked up feet that you got, okay? Looking like Sasquatch to them. He got them feet that look like what's my boy off of Shrek, them Shrek feet. But anyway, let's move on, child. I ain't got no more for Martell. Let's get into this last clip of Bell Collective. This is what's going to happen for part 2. We have the preview for that. As you guys can see, this will be the last time that Willie and Akeisha will be filming, because they're going to show Willie having a conversation with Glenn. And we're going to get into that. All right, let's go ahead and share. And we're not going to stay on this too long because I'm ready to get off. I'm tired and I got to make a phone call as well. So let's get into it. All right, so this is Bell Collective Season 4, Episode 10, Reunion, Part 2 Preview. Let's go.
Next, on Part 2 of the Bell Collective Reunion Special. Would you ever come back to Bell Collective?
Oh, Antoinette knows she want to come back.
Why did it escalate?
What made Glenn mad when he told him to suck his bed? That's it.
I want to joke with it.
I know you would.
Bro,
I know how to read body language. I'm from a whole nother. Bro, I'm from a whole nother part of life, bro. I let you talk. Who stood up first, man? And I was still smiling. Who stood up first?
You did, Willie.
You don't even need to be no more disrespect. None.
Absolutely.
Y'all are the ones that's been disrespecting me for years.
If material things measure you, that's why you're measured. If you're measured by material things, that's another reason you should be off of this platform.
Your husband
That's
embarrassed you
another
on
reason.
national TV cheating.
Lord have mercy.
Well, after that selection from the choir, Keisha said your husband the one that's embarrassing you on national TV cheating. Well, let the girls know, okay? And here we go with Letitia saying if material things is what measure you as a person, then maybe you shouldn't be on the show. But Keisha, I've heard you several episodes bragging about things that you do and trying to big yourself up. So as soon as Keisha talk about all the wonderful things that she's doing, because she's doing more than you, all of a sudden now she shouldn't be on the show to showcase those things, and you should. Because the only thing that we know that you're doing really is being a bail bondsman. I mean, like, really? Sitting there looking like Holiday Heart. Girl. Sitting there looking like Holiday Heart. Well, if you shouldn't talk about the things, if that's what's, material things is what means more to you than anything, then maybe you shouldn't be on the show. Maybe you shouldn't be looking like Holiday Heart with that all that gel on the side of your head and about to bust up out of that damn prom dress. Maybe you shouldn't do that, but you're doing it. Let's play it one more time straight through. Without, and these two right here, child, about to fall out their chair. It's giving. I'm gonna play it straight through without interruptions. Okay. Ciao. Miss.
Next, on part 2 of the Bell Collective reunion special. Would you ever come back to Bell Collective?
Oh, Antoinette knows she want to come back.
Why did it escalate?
What made Glenn mad when he told him to suck his bed? That's it. I wasn't joking then. I know you weren't.
I'm sorry, y'all. When Glenn says suck my bells, like that is funny. I don't know why it's so funny to me. Bells?
I know how to read body language. And you know how I'm from a whole nother. Bro, I'm from a whole other part of life, bro. I let you talk. Who stood up first, man? And I was still smiling. Who stood up first?
You did, Willie.
It don't even need to be no more disrespect. None.
Absolutely.
Y'all are the ones that's been disrespecting me for years.
If material things measure you, that's why you're measured. If you're measured by material things, that's another reason you should be off of this platform.
Your husband embarrassed you on national TV cheating.
Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy. I know that's right, child. That's the only person you can call on, honey. This is the Lord. And that is the truth, because you had to have a whole paternity test on this show, baby, because you didn't know if your husband had a baby on the way, and the baby won't coming from you. Well, you do look pregnant, but the baby was not coming from you, girl. So at the end of the day, I feel like, and I stand on what I say, honey, 10 toes down and then bar somebody else's toes, child, and we can have 20. I really feel like Letitia was, I'm gonna say that now. I'm just gonna say was, because Keisha and Willie ain't on the show no more. I feel like she was and is pretty much jealous of the colognes, Keisha and Willie. I feel like she is, and I feel like she has created this alliance on the show with Latrice, and I hate that, because I like Latrice, and I hate that Latrice allowed herself to be reeled in on the bullshit with Letitia only because she has certain feelings about somebody out of jealousy. I mean, I really feel like she's jealous of her. I really, really do. But that is our show for today. That is it, and that is all. I will see you guys later for our review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'll be back. I'm hoping to do it at about 7:30, 7:45. I'm still getting my show together. So yes, I will see you guys later. I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful time with the show. If you enjoyed the show, please do not forget to like the video, and also don't forget to share the video and subscribe to the channel so that you will be privy to all. Let's take this down and get back to my main screen so that you guys will be privy to all videos to come. Okay, I will definitely be back. I got to be back because I got to do my review. All right, I'm gonna watch the show one more time because I want to make sure that my commentary is on, because I don't want to miss nothing, because there's a lot of stuff that happened in this video, and I know a lot of you guys don't watch the show, but you guys wait to watch my review, and I want to make sure I cover all bases, okay, for my people. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you to all of my mods, Bill Wilson, KBR, Tyra, and Scorpion Miss. Thank you guys so much for doing an awesome job. Thank you to my backup mods, Truth TV Podcast. If you were helping out today, thank you so much, and Rose as well, because I know Rose be stepping in and helping. So thank you. And to my content creators that stopped by, I saw Snatch by Diego. I saw you. Thanks for being here, sir. Truth TV Podcast, thank you for being here as well. Purple Unicorn, Aries Girl Podcast, Deary Talk Show, Boss Lady Brand, Miss Hills ATL, Girlfriend Chronicles of Kim K, and Love Seen Heard. All right, thank you all for being here, and if I miss anyone, don't charge it to my head, but charge it to my heart, honey. Love you guys all down, and I will see you guys later. Enjoy your day. Until next time, bye.